1,
2,
3,
4.
Monster movie.
Fun time, go! Monster movie.
Fun time, go. Monster.
Movie.
Fun time.
Go!
Monster movie. Fun time, go.
With Precious D and Honeybee.
Fun time, go!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and neighbors, welcome to 31 Days of Horror. Day number 2. This is our second annual 31 Days of Horror. Thank you all for joining us. I am your host, Precious D.
And I am your other host, Honeybee.
We'll have a lot of guests throughout the season, but today I have my bestie Honeybee with me, and we are discussing Resident Evil from 2002. This is the first of 6 movies.
Yes.
Followed by a reboot. There's also a live-action TV series and an animated TV series and 2 or 3 animated movies. I'm not sure how many.
Damn.
And of course, it's all based on a series of video games that has about, 14 video games, including remakes. Sometimes they'll kind of remaster an old one for the new system so that it looks better. It's in color, 100 minutes, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. The budget was $33 million and the box office was $103 million. The featured monsters are zombies and various mutated zombie-like creatures like dogs and just things, lickers.
Dogs and things. I have to tell you that I didn't know this was a video game, or when I first saw it, or I had never played the video game. Maybe I knew, but I had never played the video game or anything, so I didn't really know anything about like what I should be looking for in this movie. You know what I mean? Like what things that are from the video game and what things aren't. So maybe as we go through, you can like tell me what those things are.
Well, there's very little from the video game in this movie.
Oh yeah, I think we talked about this, how it was like a lot of people who played the games were kind of disappointed.
Yes, at the time. I think nobody cares anymore, but at the time people were a little disappointed. Folks, this is our second time recording this episode because I made a mistake and downloaded the wrong audio. Before we get too far into it, though, I have a little bit of kaiju news.
Ooh, yay!
John Carpenter will be hosting a little monster marathon November 3rd through the 6th. It says 6 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. But it's on streaming stuff, so I assume you can stream it after that time. I don't know. You can go to mastersofmonsters.com for more details, but it's going to be on digital channels, Shout TV, Tokushoutsu, Scream TV, and Shout Cult. Those are all, part of the same company.
Hell yeah.
There's a Shout TV channel on Pluto or Tubi or both, so you might be able to watch it there. It's going to be Godzilla, Rodan, Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, and the War of the Gargantuas.
What?
Yep. Those are the 4 movies they're showing. Now, it lists each of those on that day, so maybe you do have to tune in at that time to see it. Might be streaming live and not afterwards.
That's such a random picking.
He might have chosen those himself as his favorites. Of course, those are all on HBO Max right now anyway, but it might be fun to watch it at the same time.
Yeah, totally. I do want to say before we get too deep into this episode, because it's our second time, that the first time that we recorded this episode, I had notes, and this time I am raw dogging it. Woo! I have choked a little bit in the last few weeks, and I do not have notes, so we are just...
Okay. So I assume John Carpenter, he's hosting those, so he'll probably be doing some commentary and stuff. So the other thing is there's a video game called Gigabash that is a monster fighting game. It's pretty new, and they have now made a deal with Toho to include Godzilla in the game. I'm not sure if any of the other Toho monsters are in it, but definitely Godzilla's in it. I have not yet purchased the game. I have not played it yet. I haven't bought it yet. But you can get it on Steam or PlayStation 4 or 5, and probably on Xbox too. I don't remember. And the third thing is that South Korean movie that we keep talking about, Space Monster Wangmagwi, is available for pre-order at srscinemastore.com. That's srscinemastore.com. They're only printing 2,000 copies of this thing on Blu-ray.
That's crazy.
And like 50 on VHS. Well, this company seems to, their pattern seems to be they do a limited release on Blu-ray and or DVD, followed by a streaming release.
Oh, okay.
And their stuff shows up on Pluto and Tubi and all of that stuff. So you'll probably be able to watch it there a few months after it comes out. But it's just a pre-order now. The release date is not till like January of next year. But I pre-ordered 3 copies, one for each of us and one to give away to you folks. We're still trying to do a Twitter giveaway. We need more followers. Honeybee, we had a huge boost in our listeners last week.
Ooh.
I hope some of them have returned. I don't know why. I have a theory. The analytics say that 97% of those were on Samsung podcasts. Samsung has a thing called Samsung Free where you can watch things and listen to things. So I don't know if maybe we were featured on their launch page or something. Folks, if you are a new listener, and you are listening on Samsung, send us a message.
Yeah.
Tell us how you found out about us.
How did you get here? We want to know.
You can, if you go to mmftg.link.bio, the link to all of our socials and our email and all of that is there. And you can even send us a voice message if you like. And now, let's get into this movie. Honeybee, I love this movie. I love this movie. I love this whole series of movies. I love Milla Jovovich. The director loves Milla Jovovich because he married her eventually. And then just kept putting her in movies.
God, she is incredible. Yeah, I love this.
I forgot to mention this last time, but her eyebrows in this movie are on fleek, I guess. They are perfection.
She really is perfection in these movies.
Some of the other movies I'm like, her eyebrows don't look as good in this movie. So I don't know who was doing her eyebrows in this one, but I don't think it's the same person every time. I know it's a strange thing to focus on, but I just really noticed it every time they were showing her face. I was like, wow.
Yeah, gosh.
That shape's doing it for me.
She is incredible in every way, shape, and form in these movies. I love her in everything she's done that I've seen her in, but God, these movies are so good. I love these movies. They are some of my favorite sort of kind of zombies. One of my favorite, for sure, series. It's just so good. I actually didn't see it when it came out. And what was this, 2004? Or
two.
What was this?
2002.
2002. Yeah, so I didn't actually see this until I want to say like maybe 2010-ish.
Okay.
So I didn't see them when they came out because I was a little bit too young, but to be watching scary zombie movies. But I freaking love them. I did watch them as a teenager, and me and my friends were like so into zombies. We had like every zombie book you could have. We were so obsessed with like the zombie apocalypse, and we were like going to be so prepared for it. And these were some of our like favorite movies. Oh, they're so good.
So by the time you saw it, the third movie was coming out. No, fourth movie. Third sequel, fourth movie.
When I first saw it, we kind of did like a marathon. Like we watched like the first, second, and I know the third one. I don't think the fourth one, if it was out, I didn't see it. But it was like we had a marathon. And
Afterlife came out in 2010.
Nice. Okay, yeah. So maybe we like watched them all to go and watch Afterlife or something.
Yeah.
But so good.
And we will be looking at Milla and her husband, Mr. Anderson, at some point in the future when we get to Monster Hunter, because that's that counts as a kaiju movie.
Nice.
That's a little more recent. The last of these movies was 2016. And then this past year was the reboot.
Mm-hmm. Which I have not gotten to any of that yet. The reboot, I mean.
The 2 TV shows I mentioned are on Netflix.
Yeah, I'm so stoked to watch them. To watch the reboot.
Let's see. So our cast, obviously, Milla Jovovich as Alice.
MJ!
Although they don't say her name is Alice in this movie, actually. But there is some Alice in Wonderland imagery. It's not till the second movie that she actually says, my name is Alice. Because she has no memory. She doesn't even know what her name is. Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah.
As Reno Campo.
Love me some Michelle Rodriguez.
She's going to be in the new Dungeons and Dragons movie. We should go see that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Eric Mabius as Matt Addison. James Purefoy as Spence Parks. Martin Cruz as Chad Kaplan. Colin Salmon as James One Shade. I love him. He's been in a lot of stuff. He was in all the Pierce Brosnan Bond movies.
Nice.
And there was some brief mumbling about maybe he should be Bond when Pierce quit, but didn't happen. Ooh. Nope. Ryan McCluskey as Mr. Gray. Oscar Pierce as Mr. Green. Indra Ove as Ms. Black. I just was looking her up. She's my second favorite character in this movie. That's the elevator woman.
Oh, I knew you were going to say it was the elevator woman. This is so funny to me because she just has such a very small part, and I think it's so funny that she's your second favorite.
But it's very distinctive, and she's also very distinctive looking.
There are no small parts, only small actors. Or
she's been in a lot of stuff. She's been in a lot of stuff. She was in Fifth Element, which Mila's in.
What she was?
Small part. She's that stewardess that Chris Tucker is flirting with, is how the internet described it.
Okay.
So she's wearing a little bob, unnaturally colored, wig, but it really makes her freckles stand out. She's also in this version of Othello from 1995 with Lawrence Fishburne that I coincidentally recently bought on Vudu, not realizing she was in it.
And you were like, oh my God, it's Elevator Girl.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I was looking her up today to see what else she was in. I'm like, surely she's been... Apparently, her name is... the character is Ella Fontaine, but we only know that because of a novelization of a prequel.
Okay.
Called Resident Evil Origins. I don't know why these people are called Ms. Black and Dr. Green and stuff. Nobody calls them that in the movie. There's a Mr. Green, and then Anna Bolt is Dr. Green. Joseph May is Dr. Blue. Robert Tannen is Dr. Brown. Heike Makach is Dr. Lisa Addison. Stephen Billington is Mr. White.
Lisa is Matt's sister, right?
Yes, that's why she has a name and not just a Reservoir Dogs color. Fiona Glasscott is Ms. Gold. Pasquale Alaradi is J.D. Salinas. Liz May Bryce is Olga Danilova, the medic. Michaela Dicker is the Red Queen. And Jason Isaacs as unnamed doctor/narrator. We don't even see his full face, but he does have kind of distinctive eyes. He's just the doctor that comes in. Well, he does some narration, but he comes in at the end to grab them all. And I think he's meant to be the doctor that we see in the later films, who will be played by somebody else in those films. So let's get into this summary that I got off of Wikipedia. Thank you, Wikipedia.
Thank you, Wikipedia.
Underneath Raccoon City, some of the people in these movies call it Raccoon.
Raccoon.
Raccoon City.
Ain't nobody like me but me.
Yeah. Underneath Raccoon City exists a genetic research facility called the Hive, owned by the Umbrella Corporation. A thief steals the genetically engineered T-virus and contaminates the Hive with it.
I think it's important to say, though, that the Umbrella Corporation is in charge of medical supplies, weapons, and what else? What is it? What are they in charge of? Medical supplies?
I don't know. They do all kinds of shady shit.
well, it's a huge, powerful corporation, and in the beginning, the
Yes.
narrator basically says, like, the three big things that they are known for. It just really reminds me of any major corporation, like Google or some shit. Like, I don't know, or Amazon. It would be Amazon, really, I guess, in today's age. Yeah, pharmaceuticals.
That's their main thing, but yeah, their main thing's supposed to be pharmaceuticals, but they're also doing genetic engineering and bioweapon
people don't know
research.
about the bioweaponry. Even people who work there don't know about like the bioweaponry and like all of the crazy ass shit that they're doing. But it does say in the beginning of the movie, just like it kind of just sets the tone for how powerful this corporation is. Like right out the gate, we have this narration that's like, hey, here's this corporation that really has its hand in everything around the entire world, and it's so powerful, and it just really sets the tone for it. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I meant to mention earlier, the game is called Bioweaponry. Reminded me, the game was called Biohazard in Japan, which makes more sense. I don't know if the Resident... So, I was saying how the movie's not like the game. Mm-hmm. Most of the original game, you're a STARS agent that's poking around this big mansion, solving puzzles, getting herbs to heal yourself with.
Getting herbs, yeah! Shout out. Smoke them if you got them.
If you mix the red herb and the green herb, it's stronger. And then occasionally a zombie will jump out at you and kill you if you don't shoot it fast enough. And there's zombie dogs and zombie birds. But in this movie, we see the mansion very briefly, and then we immediately go under the mansion. It's been a long time since I played the original game, but if you go under it, you only go under it very near the end after you've solved all the puzzles and unlocked everything. So I think the title Resident Evil had to do with the fact that it's a great big house, and this is the evil that is residing in the house. And then obviously as it opens up into the larger world, it makes less sense. And whereas Biohazard is just, that's what the zombies are. They're a biohazard. So it's a more straightforward and open-ended name. Anyway, somebody steals this T-virus and then purposely breaks a vial of it and contaminates the hive. The Red Queen, the artificial intelligent program that runs the place, seals the hive and kills everyone inside, which was the right thing to do.
Absolutely, 100%.
It was
the right thing to do.
It was the fail-safe that they built into the system for a reason, and then they come in and override it. And I bet every one of those people signed a waiver. Not that it would hold up in court, but they all had to know there was some kind of risk that you're going to get sealed in here and killed if anything goes wrong.
Well, a lot of people, it said that a lot of people don't even know about some of these experiments. So even if they did sign a waiver, that's like, oh, ha, 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 maybe this thing could happen. I'm sure they still aren't like.
Well, everybody that's working in the secret underground facility, though, has to know there's something shady going on, or at least dangerous. Alice awakens in the bathroom of a deserted mansion with amnesia. And we get this close-up of Milla's eyeball as she wakes up.
Swoon. Milla's so hot.
I've said this before, but Milla, she was a model, not afraid to show off her body. But
thank the Lord.
In movies, when she's naked, it is often in a sort of vaguely unpleasant medical context, rather than, not that she doesn't have some sexy scenes in other movies, but in these movies and in Fifth Element, she's naked, but it's not trying to be sexy. It's just,
which makes it so much better.
She's passed out on the floor of the bathroom. And later on, she's in the hospital with all kinds of shit plugged into her. And in the future movies, she's like floating in a tank of stuff with stuff all hooked up to her. And it's...
yeah.
I just know, I'm just like, why does this keep happening to her? Why do they keep doing this to her in these movies? Anyway, she gets up and puts on a very distinctive dress.
Hot.
That is... It's necessary to wear bicycle shorts with it.
Okay.
I don't get it. I like the dress and the boots and the whole thing, but it is a very unusual design.
And the shape is so good. I think the shape of the dress with the shorts really just like gives her that like, oh God, it's just so badass.
I'm just not clear if it was designed to be worn that way or if she put it on and went, oh, I can't go out like this. I better put some bicycle shorts on. Because if you haven't seen it, Google it right now. But it's a very iconic, distinctive thing. It's a red, sleeveless sort of a cocktail dress, but it's asymmetrical and it's got a cut. It's not a slit up the side. It is cut diagonally across the front so that her...
But she's more aerodynamic when she fights.
I guess. So if she weren't wearing these bicycle shorts, her underwear would be showing, or her whatever, to everyone. So it's not, I don't know. But she pulls it off and she wears some boots with it and it looks really cool.
Oh, it's so badass. She looks so badass.
I stumbled on an article, Vogue maybe, saying that 20 years later, Resident Evil is still the most stylish zombie movies.
Yeah, I love that.
And then it went through her costumes in all of the movies, which we'll do as we get to them.
Oh.
So she dresses and she checks the mansion and then gets tackled by some dude as a group of commandos led by James Shade breaks in. Alice's attacker is cuffed and then released when he claims to be Matt Addison, who just transferred as a cop in Raccoon Police Department. Alice and Matt are ordered to go down to the hive with the group, where they find another amnesiac, Spence, hidden in their train. The commandos explain that there's some kind of train that you have to go down this elevator to get to the hidden base, but there's also a train that leads out of it to elsewhere that becomes important later. The commandos explain that everyone in the group except Matt is an employee of the Umbrella Corporation, and Alice and her partner Spence were assigned to guard the hive's secret entrance under the mansion under the pretense of being married. And at one point, Alice takes off her ring and looks inside of it, and it is inscribed property of Umbrella Corporation.
Yeah, because the marriage is like fake, right? It's like a show or whatever.
I don't know why they felt the need to say, just to make sure you don't even think about keeping this. It doesn't belong to you. It's a prop that belongs to the company.
Just like your fake fucking marriage.
Yeah. At the Red Queen's chamber, a laser defense system kills Shade and 3 more commandos. So this is a very iconic scene as well.
Yeah, this is the most memorable scene probably in the whole series for me. Wow.
There's a hallway. There's fluorescent lights built into the walls and the floor and the ceiling, I think, of the whole hallway. And as they start walking down it, the door's shut and a laser beam comes along the hallway. So somebody jumps over it and then it comes at a different height, so they duck under it. And then 2 or 3 of them come and they try to dodge it. And then the Red Queen eventually says, well, fuck it, and just puts up a grid that comes down the hallway that there's no way to escape from.
Oh, gosh, it's so brutal.
It dices Colin Salmon, and then the pieces of him just slide off of each other. It's pretty brutal. But somebody manages to turn it off before, isn't it about to kill Alice and they turn it off?
Yeah.
Kaplan disables it. Disables it, causing the power to fail and all the doors in the hive to open.
Well, Alice isn't in there yet. She's still with Kaplan. Yeah, she's not in there yet.
Okay. But this releases the zombified staff and containment units containing liquors, creatures created through experimentation with the T-virus. The humans are attacked by the Horde. I have a death count of 53 in this movie, but I'm not sure.
Nah.
With all this, I mean, it mentioned, the thing I was looking at mentioned some specifics, but it seems like they must have killed more zombies than that.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe some are just implied. So they're attacked by the Horde. JD dies. Rain retreats with Kaplan and Spence, and Matt becomes separated from Alice, who starts regaining her memories. Now, this is a problem I have with Paul W.S. Anderson in this movie. Yes. I noticed it in this movie and in what do you call it? Mortal Kombat, which he directed, is that sometimes there'll be a scene that is not really connected with the scene before or the scene after. So it's not clear how Matt gets separated and what room he ends up in and where it is in relation to everybody else. And then Alice is in there with him, and they're finding some stuff and looking at some stuff.
Oh, and he finds his zombie sister.
Yeah. He gets yes. He's looking for information on his sister and then finds her zombified, and Alice saves him. He explains that he and Lisa were environmental activists, and Lisa infiltrated Umbrella to smuggle out evidence of the illegal experiments. And then Alice remembers that she was Lisa's contact in the hive, but she doesn't tell Matt that. But then suddenly we're back with the other people, and they come running and banging on the door, and they're being chased by zombies. But we don't see, but that scene is not connected to the scene that just happened. And as I said, it's not really clear how they got to that other room.
Is it distracting for you? Like, it bothers you?
Yeah, it bothers me that it's just a lack of cohesion. How did he get to that room, and why are they now suddenly running out of it? We didn't see those zombies attack. They're just suddenly, seems like there's a scene missing. Like scenes were cut.
I guess I don't notice it. Like, to me, I'm just like, when I see them somewhere like often, I just accept it. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, hell yeah. Okay.
There's a scene in Mortal Kombat where one of the characters is walking in a grove, and then he has to fight somebody. But there's no explanation of why he left where everybody else was. Why is he in this grove? Where is the grove? Why did he go there? Is he trying to do something, or is he just going for a walk? And then I don't think it resolves after the scene's over. I'm not sure it explains how he got back to where everybody, but you know, at one point he's with everybody else, and then suddenly he's just strolling through this grove for no reason. And all I can figure is that it must be a setting from the game that they wanted to put a fight in.
Oh.
But I'm not sure if that's actually true or not, because I don't really play that game much. So there you go. Anyway, they reunite with the others and at the Red Queen's chamber, where the commandos explain that they have 1 hour before the hive traps them inside automatically.
You're all going to die down here.
Thank you. Alice and Kaplan activate the Red Queen to find an exit. To force her cooperation, they rig a remote shutdown. Before I mentioned that the Red Queen was right to shut down everything and kill everybody, so why are they going in? I don't understand why Umbrella's sent these people in there. I mean, obviously they want to find out what happened, but if this failsafe went off, then they should know what happened. And there should have been some data sent back to headquarters to say there was a contamination, and that's why we shut it down. And if anybody is going to go in there, they should be in full biohazard gear. So the thing is, if they just left it alone, the world would not have ended.
But we wouldn't have a good movie.
Right. If they had left it sealed up like they should have, then the zombies would be contained in there. Presumably at some point they would just fall apart from entropy.
Destroy them since they're contained.
Yeah. But if they're not infecting any new people and they're not taking in any energy by eating anything, then they're going to have to just fall apart at some point. So, folks, should you find yourself in this situation, don't open the door. Leave it sealed. Don't open it. You don't need to find out the details. You need to know there was a breach. That's all you need. Yep. As they escape through maintenance tunnels, zombies ambush them, and a reanimated JD bites Rain before she shoots him dead.
No, Rain.
They reach safety except Kaplan, who is bitten and separated from the group.
Well, Kaplan, is this when Kaplan tries to have like his like hero moment where he's like, go, and he has like one bullet
Probably.
left, and he's like gonna kill himself.
Yeah. They all had to climb up some stuff, some heating or some air conditioning ducts that were hanging from the ceiling, and they were climbing up those and up things and onto those, and then part of it starts collapsing. And the zombies look like they're going to get him, and he's going to use his last bullet on himself, but then he doesn't.
Yeah, he chickens out, and then, which it's good because then he has his real hero moment later.
Yeah. Alice remembers that an antivirus is in the lab, but they find it missing. Spence and Alice remember that Spence was the thief who stole and purposely released the T-virus. They let us think that it might be Alice for a little while.
She even thinks it might be her, because she has like the amnesia and shit.
We don't see the face as thief at the beginning, and we do see her remembering that she was negotiating getting something for the dead sister, so we think maybe she had done it. They remember Spence was the thief who stole and purposely released the T-virus and hid the T-virus and antivirus on the train. The gas that knocked them out at the beginning gave them amnesia, by the way. So Spence doesn't remember at first that that's where he put the virus. Spence turns against the others, but is bitten by a zombie, which he kills before trapping the survivors in the lab. Spence retrieves the antivirus, but is killed by a liquor set upon him by the Red Queen. The Red Queen offers to spare Alice and Matt if they kill Rain, who has been infected too long for the antivirus to work reliably.
Man, I just like this moment when they're like looking at each other. Like it's kind of a little bit before Rain gets a little sick. I'm just like, man, you guys should make out.
Who, Milla and Rain?
Yeah. Milla and Michelle.
Yeah.
Mims, baby.
As the liquor attempts to reach them, a power outage occurs. The lab doors open to reveal that Kaplan shut down the Red Queen to open the door. The group heads to the train where Alice retrieves the antivirus and kills a reanimated Spence before escaping with the others. The train might be from the video game or from one of the sequels. I think it's from number 2. On the train, they inject Rain and Kaplan with the antivirus. The liquor, having hidden on the train, attacks them, clawing Matt and killing Kaplan. Alice subdues the liquor before Matt is attacked by a zombified Rain, antivirus having failed to cure her. He shoots Rain dead, and her head hits a button, opening a door and dropping the liquor under the train, killing it. At the mansion, Matt's wound begins mutating. Before Alice can give him the antivirus, the mansion doors burst open, and a group of Umbrella scientists seize them. They subdue Alice and take Matt away, revealing he is to be put in the Nemesis program. That is definitely from one of the sequel video games. And that the hive is to be reopened for an investigation into the incident. Alice awakens at the Raccoon City Hospital, strapped to an examination table, and escapes outside to find Raccoon City deserted and in ruins. She retrieves a shotgun from an abandoned police car and continues through the streets. That is the end of part 1.
Oh, man. This pan out, like when she wakes up and she tears all the shit off of her, and then she goes through, and she's walking through and she's just in this paper shirt thing, barefoot,
it's not even a full hospital gown. It's 2 pieces of paper, like butcher paper, with little clips on the side and a hole for her head.
And it's crazy because you see this pan out of the city, and from the hive and everything going crazy in the hive and how fast everything happened. All of these people turned into zombies. Oh, and now it's pan out to the whole city. Man, these movies are so good. They each one too, how they end, how they begin and end, how they set them up, the storyline. I love it. So good. These movies are incredible. I have really, really enjoyed revisiting.
What I really like is how each of them does something a little different, moves things forward and goes to a different environment and different situation.
Yeah.
Later in the season, I'll be talking with a friend of ours about Fright Night, and we had a little bit of a complaint that Fright Night 2 is the kind of sequel that just redoes what the first one did. But Resident Evil does not do that.
Yeah.
And even in the last one, when they come back to the hive, it's not the same thing. It's dealing with it in a different sort of way, and we don't just walk through the hive again, replaying the game.
Right. Yeah, it's so well done. The story is so good. The acting, I love all of the people, I feel do a great job. It's just a great movie. And there's a lot of jump scares in these movies, in each movie there's at least 3 or 4 where you're just oh shit, I love that. It's just so good. Man.
One thing I should point out that might be one of the things that people objected to. Mila's character of Alice is not at all from the video games.
Is not at all what?
From the video games.
Oh, really?
She's just a totally new... Yeah, she's not in the video games at all. And the thing is, the video games have a lot of characters with names and distinctive looks and things. It's not the kind of thing where you're just playing some nameless person. Oh. So we will see those characters in some of the later movies, like Jill Valentine and what's her name? Ali Larter's character.
Oh, yeah.
Claire Redfield, Claire's brother. Claire
I'm
and
like,
her
fuck.
brother
Yeah, Claire.
are in the video game. Jill Valentine's in the video game. So
Nice.
that might have been a complaint of like, who the hell is this? Who's this Alice person?
I'm just like, how can you complain though? Because Alice is such a badass. I mean, here's the thing. I said this when we did the episode the first time. Like, I don't really have video game knowledge, especially like
Right.
shoot 'em up, beat 'em up, zombie video games. Like, my video game experience is like Buzzy the Knowledge Bug, the Magic School Bus explores the universe, and like Mario on Nintendo 64. Oh, and Cruising the World, and like that's it. And so I never got this far or never played
Mhm.
these kinds of games. So it just doesn't, it's like not my thing. But I fucking love these movies. I love Alice, the character. I love Mila. Just 5 stars. 5 stars for me.
I was gonna say I'm not complaining, but I could see why they would say, not why is Mila in it, but why isn't Mila just playing Jill or Claire? Why didn't they just call
Yeah.
her the name of one of the characters from the video game? But I don't care.
Yeah, seriously. I don't think anybody else cared either when they saw that fucking
But I get
dress.
upset when they fuck up my stuff, so I can understand. But I don't care.
Yeah. I did want to talk about the dogs.
Yeah.
The dogs in the movie. Oh man, that scene where she like straight drop kicks a dog in the face. I'm like, ooh, yum. She's so hot. Like, just wow. And also, I love that the dogs are in all the movies, you know?
Uh-huh.
Like, there are certain things that I just like that they do in every movie. I love that they like goop the dogs up, and they are just these scary goopy dogs.
Now the dogs are from the video game, and the
Yeah.
birds that we'll see in one of the later movies.
The third one.
There are birds.
Yeah.
You know, you'll just be walking down the hallway in the house, thinking everything's fine, and then a bird will come crashing through the window and try to bite you. And
Yeah. Something else I wanted to talk about in this movie was the CGI of the liquor. I just remember watching this like in 2010 and being like, oh man, like so freaked out and so like, and man, it looks so crazy. And I think it probably still looks great for the time, but like looking at it now in comparison to like the CGI we have in like Marvel movies and shit,
Yeah.
it's just so crazy how far we've
Yeah.
come. Like, wow, it's insane. It's really insane, and it's so cool. Oh, you know what? I had to tell you this. I watched for the first time the other day. This is so off subject, by the way.
it's fine.
Sorry for everyone. I'm for throwing a monkey wrench in this. Some of you are probably going to be like, what the hell? But I literally, for the first time ever, watched Back to the Future.
Okay.
And what made me think of it is I watched the second one, Back to the Future 2, and the CGI in it is just so different and so crazy. That's what made me think of this. And like, wow, they're really good movies. But anyways, there's my
what do they CGI in the second one?
the flying car.
Okay. Well, that should be pretty
Yeah.
easy to do. It's easier to make
Yeah,
inanimate objects look realistic than things like hair or
Yeah,
skin.
totally.
I actually don't care for Back to the Future. And
You don't.
there's one thing in it.
I should
There's this
have
one
known.
there's this one element that just spoils it for me.
Oh my god! What
It's
is it?
the photograph. It's the fading in and out photograph.
Wait, I haven't seen all. I haven't seen the third
No,
one
it's
yet,
in the
so
it's in the first movie.
does that
It's
matter?
the photo. It's
Okay,
it's the photograph of
Oh,
him.
like in the newspaper and stuff? You mean like the
No,
newspaper
he's got it
articles and
on
shit?
it.
Like
He has it on him. It's a photograph of like him and his family or
and his
something.
family.
Because he's jeopardizing the chances that he'll be born. The photograph starts
Yeah.
fading in and out depending on how, whether he's getting hot or cold in maintaining the timeline. And
Ow, you don't like
no,
that?
it's stupid. He's either there or he's not. I don't care for this sort of iffy. He's either fucked it up or he hasn't. And the photograph should either be gone and the whole timeline destroyed and therefore he disappears, or it doesn't.
Oh,
And the reason it's in there, and this is explicitly stated by the director, not in these words, is they believe the audience is stupid. That we need this visual cue We have to have this visual cue to let us know the danger of the situation. We can't figure it out ourselves, and we can't keep track ourselves of how close he is to messing up or to succeeding. So we have to have this stupid ass photograph fading in and out to tell us, because the director thinks we're dumb. So fuck you, director, and fuck this movie. That's my thoughts on Back to the Future. But there's also stuff in the movie that implies that all he's done is create an alternate timeline and the original timeline still exists, in which case there wouldn't be a fading photograph anyway, because all he's done is create an alternate timeline where he either is born or is not. So there you go. Did you like it?
Well, I am sorry for getting us on that sidetrack. I loved it. Yeah, because most people are like, oh my God, you haven't seen that? What the hell? And I'm just like, yeah, I mean, it was just a little tiny bit before my time, just a little bit. And like, it was just happened before I was born. So I just didn't see it and never was interested in it or whatever. And then I finally decided to give it a go. And I have only seen the first and second one, but
Okay.
I really like them.
Guess what?
What?
I don't like Ghostbusters either.
I don't really, I can't, okay, I've seen Ghostbusters, but I don't remember anything. Like, I was really young, and really, I know, like, the song, and I know, like, the girl version came out or whatever, but I never watched it, and I'm sorry. I know I should have.
No, you should
I just
not.
don't.
You should not. You should not watch it.
No?
Well, maybe just for your general film education, but I can't recommend it. I just saw a tweet today that was like Ghostbusters and Back to the Future and says, which do you like better? I'm like, I don't care for either of them. But if I had to pick, I guess I'd say Back to the Future, because at least Marty is...
There's no pedophilia?
No, there's not pedophilia in either of them.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I remember this one time you told me that there was like an inappropriate relationship.
Well, yeah, not relationship, but in the beginning, Bill Murray's character sabotages his own experiment in order to hit on a student. She's a college student. She's not a child, but she's...
Oh, okay, my bad. That's how rumors get started, you guys.
He's a scientist at this and professor at this college, and he's doing a psychic experiment, and he's testing, the boyfriend is supposed to be, they're doing those Zener cards with, the stars and the wavy line and the circle. And one person looks at it, and one person looks at the card, and the other person's supposed to try to read their mind to see what the card is. And this hot chick and her doofy boyfriend are doing it. The experiment is that when you get it wrong, he's going to give you a little electric shock. And the boyfriend is getting the cards correct, but he keeps shocking him anyway because he wants to hit on the girl. And he wants to just punish the guy for being with the hot chick that he wants to get with, or something. So he's actually negatively reinforcing whenever the guy successfully uses his psychic powers, which is just sabotaging his own experiment, and it's for no good reason. It's just because he wants to hit on this girl. And that's the kind of character he is throughout the movie and throughout the sequel. So at least Marty McFly is a much nicer person and isn't the sexist douchebag that Bill Murray is.
Well, there
which
you go.
He frequently is.
I like my mom loved Ghostbusters so much, and I know we watched it so many times, and I even feel like if I started to watch it, I may remember it.
Uh-huh.
Like, you know what I mean? But I just really don't fucking remember it.
Well, I won't comment any further on what might be causing your memory problems. Folks, that's Resident Evil. You already said 5 stars, 5 pumpkins.
Yeah, 5 stars.
I also give it
5
I give it 5 pumpkins as well. Is it streaming anywhere? I have it all on Vudu.
I don't know. It might be on Netflix since they released
Since the series is on there, that's true. It might
reboot
be.
thing.
It might be. Yes, it is on Netflix. I believe they're all on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Probably, I think the animated ones are on there as well. Resident Evil Degeneration and Resident Evil Vendetta. So that will do it for Resident Evil. We'll be back.
Ooh.
We'll be hitting up all of this series during our 31 Days of Horror. So please join us throughout the month. We will conclude the whole thing with Halloween Ends, which will be in theaters and streaming on Peacock on October 15th. So that'll give everyone plenty of time to watch it before we get to it on Halloween. Also, I saw The Munsters and it sucked. So
No, wait, did it? I almost watched it last night, but I was too
it's on
sleepy. I knew I'd fall
Netflix.
asleep.
I mean, you might like it. I don't know.
I'm probably gonna love it because I love Rob Zombie and Sherry.
But
Moon
it's not at all.
Zombie.
It's not at all like his other movies. It is The Munsters. He's trying to.
Yeah, I know.
He's trying to do The Munsters. I won't. Yeah.
And you hated it.
It's just incoherent.
Okay, well, I'll watch it.
You watch it.
Maybe-
I won't
maybe
say
we'll talk
anymore.
about
You
it.
just watch it. Maybe we'll do a little side review of it in one of these episodes.
Yeah, we should. We should, since it's like the 31 days, we should do a little sidebar.
Okay.
The new Monsters movie.
All right, folks.
Totally.
That's going to wrap it up for us. I have been Precious D.
And I have been Honey Bee, and please don't forget, guys, we're so glad you're here, but if you're new here, please tell us how you got here, because we really want to figure out like where our audience is and where you guys are coming from, and we absolutely love hearing from you. It's so great. Like and review and all of the things, and we love you guys. Thanks for listening.
We do. Until next time, remember to keep calm and seek shelter in basements.
And please don't misuse science.
We won't see you, but you will hear us next time on Monster Movie Fun Time Go. You've been listening to Monster Movie Fun Time Go. If you enjoyed the show, please rate and review us on your podcasting platform of choice. Our theme song is by the Texicano folk rock punk featuring Lita Lopez. You can support the show, find links to our social media, and even leave us a voice message at anchor.fm/MNFTG.